getting to know a group of actresses that we've been with each other 8 years now, and I've fallen in love with all of them.
The first day I was on set, I felt like I really belonged there.
I just say universally, kind of just so warm and welcoming.
There isn't an element about Mom that wasn't special.
We have friendships. We have incredibly profound lessons we've learned from each other.
It's been the most rewarding experience I've ever had.
Aren't you a little old to be blaming all your problems on your mother?
I remember the first time I was on set, meeting Allison Janney, who I was a big fan of. She makes you feel like you're the most important person in the cast.
Hello, Marjorie.
Bonnie. Allison is such a delicious actress.
That's your mother?
Yeah.
No wonder you drank.
I realized these people are supposed to despise each other. And I remember the writers could see us off camera talking about how much we were enjoying that exchange. I remember thinking, I hope they see this is amazing.
Most memorable for me is probably the first few months doing all this stuff with Allison. I'd known her for many years, but I'd never worked with her. She really is just incredible to work with.
Allison and I met back in the 80s in New York when we were young actors. We'd worked together a few times over the years. So fast forward to go to work every day on Mom was always an unbelievable joy with all of the ladies, but in particular with Allison.
I met Allison at a charity event. Her first cousin is married to one of my cameramen from Earl, who's one of my oldest, dearest friends. So she came over and she was like, "Hey, I'm Allison. You Jamie?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she started talking. She said, my cousin's married to Jefferson. And it was just a small world thing. She's a really good human, and I loved her right away.
This is the start of a new chapter.
What I remember about the beginning of Mom, Anna had been cast first, and I was standing up in Chuck's office, and I looked out his window. He was on the second floor, and I looked down, and there she was, furiously flipping through the script, and I was like, oh my God, I love her already. She's frantically looking through the script to get her mind and the character to come in and read with me.
Anna is an actress who does a lot like I do. We have to know what we were doing or talking about immediately before.
You never know what to expect when someone's a big star, but Anna was down to earth and warm and friendly.
Sure, it was a nightmare, but you're not a child anymore. I know that, but she makes me so mad.
Mimi, I had watched on Dharma and Greg and other shows she's been on. She's done so much in her career, so I was really excited to get to work with her. Mimi loves to analyze the scenes. So it's just fun to be reminded of all of those great techniques.
Meeting Mimi Kennedy, she was so funny and welcoming and motherly like she is on the show. To this day, she is still the matriarch.
When Jamie first arrived, I was telling Anna Faris's character, go help somebody else.
Maybe it is time for me to start giving back.
And I went, that one looks like she needs somebody to talk to her. I remember Jamie's lines were,
I got a DUI, my husband left me, and I tried to commit suicide.
Oh my God, you're gonna do great here.
My first impression of Jamie was she was super supportive, loved the character, just had a great sense of humor.
Jamie Presley is just a firecracker. I've never met anyone who has so much energy and enthusiasm.
The first time I met Jamie Presley, I remember thinking she was beautiful. She was so helpful. She would let you know that that's not going to be your best light to camera. So I thought she was so knowledgeable with how everything worked.
I nominate Weeping Wendy.
Beth came on as Weeping Wendy.
That's what you call me?
In an episode where she was featured in one community center with a really funny run.
I remember just her wonderful emotional life that she brought to Wendy. I love what she brought to this show.
Go ahead, Wendy.
Thank you.
Oh, just a heads up, crying counts against your time.
And she came back to play that note that she plays so beautifully in the chord, which is kind of this quiet, mousy person who everything lands on her, and she's really a brave nurse in her real life. She's indispensable.
You're going to be okay. You're a steel magnolia. I remember meeting Bill Fichtner and thinking he was this very, very serious guy, and that he, coming on the show, that he would be this like really, dramatic guy, but he's so patient and easygoing.
Oh, man. She's beautiful.
I really have loved working with Bill. He's just so extraordinary, such a wonderful actor, such a kind man. He grew up with like 5 sisters, so He is a guy who knows how to deal with a room full of women. And he's just navigated us all so beautifully. From the moment of Bonnie's introduction to him on a wrong number phone call.
When I originally came on the show, it was only supposed to be a 3 or 4 little episode arc. When you come into a show and everybody's been doing it for 2.5 years, it's a pretty well-oiled machine. But I sure didn't feel like I was new there. Everybody was super welcoming, and I'm so grateful that I was a part of it.
Wait, do you still draw? What? You used to draw all those crazy snakes everywhere, you know, on walls, inside cereal boxes.
And then when Kristen Johnston came on board, it was just like a breath of fresh air. She brought so much energy to Tammy.
Bring it in, big sauce!
When Kristen came on, she blew in like a mighty wind from the Midwest. She's an amazing person about recovery.
It's a little intimidating to join a cast that's been together for 5 years when I joined. But I actually was lucky enough to know Allison for years from the theater.
Kristen Johnston and I knew each other back in New York theater days, so I knew what was coming onto the Mom Show, and I was really excited about her.
Seeing her was just great. It was like seeing an old friend.
We knew it was gelling, and it was hard. Not always easy to find our characters. You know, in a sitcom, you'll do a joke and it will come out of something that seems inconsistent with something you did 2 shows ago, but, you know, they're finding their way and it's funny. You have to embrace it all, and we all did. And that's how we became a band.
It's just so rare that you get to do a show with a lot of your peers. We've been really lucky. Everyone is so completely different, and yet we work somehow together as a group. I'm going to miss us.